We wanted to take this opportunity to check in with Albuquerque Journal Capitol reporter Dan McKay. Dan has been covering the legislature for decades, and as he explains, some of the biggest decisions could go down to the wire. Want to catch up with Dan at this near halfway point. The session ends on March 18th. Dan, real quick, want to get you back to work here, but first question, this is our first really sort of in-house session in a long time. Any palpable difference in how legislation is being made compared to during the COVID time when people were just at home?
Yeah, I'd say it's been a big difference. The building is it's full of people again. That means everything from school kids who are doing performances or coming on class field trips to lobbyists who are leaving presents on legislators' desks on the floor. And there's a lot of in-person testimony. This is the first session in probably about 3 years that hasn't had any COVID restrictions. There's no vaccine requirement, there's no mask mandate. So people are, there's no limitation on visitors. There was one session where there were almost no visitors allowed in the building. So
Right.
So yeah, it's been a big difference in terms of how it's impacting the legislators. I would say there's maybe a little more, maybe a little easier for them to collaborate and even work across party lines in some cases. I think the legislators are probably getting to know some of the legislators. They took office in these amid COVID restrictions. So it's kind of been a chance for them also, I think, to get to know some of their colleagues and not see everybody in a mask all the time.
Is this the session or the year we start to modernize our legislature? What's the latest take on things out there? Let me kind of just set it up for the folks out there. There was some recent polling out there that shows there was strong support in every age group for modernizing our legislature, meaning paying legislators, allowing them to have paid staff, and the third one, of course, the big one, going to a full-time legislature in finger quotes. Who knows what that means? It could be 6 months, 4 months, all the year. Where do we stand now? What's the hallway chatter on that? Are folks generally warm to the idea of modernizing, or is the body just sort of protecting itself a little bit here and not moving so quick on this stuff?
Yeah, it really seems to be a priority of Democrats in the House. Democrats have a big majority in the House, well, both chambers, but the House Democrats seem to be a little more interested in it at this point. The debate has been kind of partisan this year. It has not always fallen along partisan lines, but this year it has. Republicans have more or less objected to these proposals. The one that I don't know, maybe has a little more legs at this point is there's a proposal that would lengthen legislative sessions in even years. So in election years, the legislature only meets for 30 days and the agenda is limited. The budget is usually a dominant issue in those sessions. There's a proposal that would expand it to 60 days. So New Mexico would have 60-day sessions every year. Proponents say it would, give the legislature a little more time to vet bills. It would provide, 2 opportunities for some of these bills to advance rather than just one every election cycle. That one maybe has seems to have a little more movement. But it's a little hard to tell this early in the session. There are also proposals dealing with staff, trying to get legislators better staff so that they can better vet bills and have sort of independent analysis rather than relying so heavily on lobbyists. There's also proposals to establish a salary for legislators. Supporters say this would allow a broader pool of people to serve. The legislature now is not entirely unpaid. They do draw per diem. They get some reimbursements. They have a pension system, but they do not draw a salary. And the amounts of money that they get are pretty small. So legislators are constantly talking about how much the job costs them and damages their income from, they have to take a break from their law practice or whatever else they're doing. And consequently, a lot of retired people serve in the legislature. But I would say it's definitely a huge priority for Democrats in the House. A little too early to say whether it's going to gain traction in the Senate. But I have heard a lot of talk about the 60 and 60 option. That is one that may advance.
Is there anything that stands out about this year's sessions? The reason I ask that is down here from Albuquerque, it's hard to get a feel for the room, so to speak, wherever room you happen to be in, committee or whatever. But this year, just something just feels a little different. And reporting on you and your colleague Dan Boyd as well. How are we supposed to kind of consider how these folks are working? Or we're just gonna have to wait to the very end to find out what falls through and what makes it? What's your sense of that at this point?
Yeah, everything, pretty much all the work ends up happening at the end. We joke
Right.
that you're halfway through the session, but like 90% of the work is still to be done. I would say, the House has maybe been a little more, a little less combative than usual. There had been some leadership changes there. We have a new speaker, Javier Martinez. He's a Democrat from Albuquerque. Brian Egoff didn't run for re-election and left the legislature altogether. On the Republican side, James Townsend was the leader for a few years, and he remains a member of the legislature, but decided not to seek re-election. So the partisan makeup of the chamber hasn't really changed. Democrats still have 45 seats, Republicans have 25. But the personalities are different. Ryan Lane, the Republican leader, and Javier Martinez, the speaker, they're both lawyers who are in their early 40s. I think that they maybe that helps them cooperate a little more. It does feel like there's been it's been less combative. We've had fewer debate go sort of the full 3 hours in the House and
Right.
sort of slow everything to a crawl. So it could be that there's maybe a little more collaboration on that side, but we'll have to see how it happens, how it plays out. Obviously, it's going to get more tense and more partisan as we start to face sort of the deadline of the end of the session. But I would say that the atmosphere in the House is maybe a little bit of a change, a little bit of a distinct feature of this session so far.
Hey, Dan, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Have a great day, and we'll catch up with you at the end of the session.
Thanks, Gene.